Hey, 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 it's Natasha.
And Khalil Nurse.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 17th episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesdays, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and with you. And we talk about everything and anything that's important to us, to you, and the world. And of course, nothing is off the table. Now, in this episode, we are talking all about feelings, whether we're in control of them, what the hell they are, what are most popular ones, everything and anything you can think about when it comes to feelings, right? And before we dive into this very emotional episode, there's a couple of ground rules that we have to cover. First, have you subscribed to WokeNFree on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, or iHeartRadio? If not, again, shame on you. But no, seriously, subscribe to our channel on all of those platforms. We love your support and we greatly appreciate it. And we greatly appreciate you joining the conversation every week. So please do so. Also, share the episode. If each of one of you share it with 5 other people and they do the same, that's how you have very popular content, guys. So please do so. And also make sure that you talk to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at WokeNFree.
Each week, we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week, we played a game where we shared 2 truths and 1 lie. I hope you had a chance to share your thoughts. If you haven't, go to WokeNFree.com and you could share there what you think is the lie and what you think are the truths. You could also respond on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to share your answers. This week, we are sharing tips on what to do with gifts you do not want.
Ooh, I really like that topic. So because it is the holiday season, I think there are a couple of things that come to mind for me, at least when I get a gift I don't like. Now, granted, I love all gifts because I think that that's really sweet that someone took the time to get you something. I think that's awesome. But, maybe the person getting you the gift didn't necessarily get you what you wanted or what you would have, could have used. So, a couple of things. First, if they gave you a gift receipt, that's totally awesome because you can return that sucker and get good old green cash. So that's one tip. Second, sharing is caring, as my dear husband likes to say. So give the gift that keeps giving. If you get something that you don't necessarily want, give it to someone else and keep that cycle going. Oh. And then third, because it is the season to give, you should always remember to give to charities, right, that you donate to. And maybe someone else out there in the world could really benefit from this gift. So those are my tips. What do you think, Khalil?
The best thing to do is, of course, exchange it if you have the gift receipt. But fret not. You have 2 other good options if you don't. The classic thing to do is pay it forward and re-gift it. You could either give it to charity or somebody you don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, probably give it to somebody you do know.
Probably, yeah.
Just remember not to give it back to the person who gave you the gift. That's the key thing.
That would be helpful for sure. Mm-hmm.
The other option is you can resell it on eBay, Amazon, or Facebook. But if you do Facebook, just make sure the person who you gave the gift to doesn't see it, because they might be your Facebook friend and they could actually see that you relisted that gift. So probably keep it to the other places if you're going to sell it.
That's actually funny. Yeah, I didn't even think about that because you have the marketplace on Facebook now.
Yeah.
So that would be quite the scenario, actually. But yeah, I agree.
The only good thing about the Facebook is that you don't have any fees or anything if you sell it.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
At least for now. I mean, it's fee-free. I don't know if that'll change in the future.
Okay, so you might have to just kind of mess up a friendship and then just get that cash.
Or just sell it really quickly before they even see it.
True. It sounds like hotcakes. I love it. Okay. Yeah. So let's get to the topic for today. I think feelings are a very funny topic to discuss because I think it's something that we all go through each and every day, right? We're happy and then we're sad and then we're energized, then we're enraged, then we're depressed, and it goes on and on and on. In fact, do you know how many emotions there really are?
Yeah, there's actually a ton of them. There's actually a grand total of 3. Happy, sad, and neutral. Everything else is just levels to it or a combination of those base emotions. That's to me, at least. For example, anger could be just a heightened level of sadness.
Fascinating. Well, actually, I can...
Actually?
Yes.
So emotions are a thing of science now.
Yes, they are. According to a recent Forbes article written by Bruce Y. Lee, he shares a study that was published in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences.
Wait a second. Are you're kidding with people right now? With the author?
Excuse you, his name is Bruce Y. Lee.
No, his name is not.
Yes, it is.
This scientist is not Bruce Lee. Or
He's
I don't know, what is he?
He's not a scientist.
Okay.
He's a contributor to Forbes, and you can go to WokeNFree.com to click on the article. Excuse you.
By the great legendary Bruce Lee.
Not that Bruce Lee, a different Bruce Lee.
Oh, so not the martial arts master.
No, well, I can't speak for this man. I know his contribution on Forbes. I don't know what else he does.
I know people do ask him when he shows them his driver's license.
And people ask me, Natasha Nurse, are you a nurse? And I say, hey, Alex Baker, are you a baker? Stop the foolishness.
Okay, come on. That's like being named Michael Jordan.
Exactly.
People are going to ask you. They're definitely going to make
Michael
the connection.
B. Jordan the great basketball player? No, he is not. He's a phenomenal actor.
But the first question that people probably ask him is, are you related to Michael Jordan, the legendary Bulls player?
Mm-hmm. And he probably gives them choice words.
Well, he needs to control his emotions instead of choice words.
Coming from Michael B. Jordan. Oh, no, he doesn't mean it.
He seems like a calm guy. So
he does. He seems very in control of his emotions. And unlike you, currently struggling with yours, I'm going to continue on with what I was saying, which is according to this study that was published in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences, that is, they actually identify 27 distinct categories of emotions. So your theory of 3 doesn't quite fit up.
Well, remember, you could build off my 3. Mine are just bases.
Okay.
So that's...
Well, yeah, there are basic emotions and they're more like complex emotions. But this study speaks to like emotions that we feel like admiration or adoration or anxiety, awkwardness, boredom, confusion, craving, disgust, fear, horror, nostalgia, romance, sadness, literally 27 of them. So, to say the least, people have a lot going on on the inside, and it's something to really think about.
Is there an emotion most commonly expressed then?
Okay, so I would say before doing some research, I would say anger or maybe frustration. But actually, I was surprised. A recent thread on Reddit asked therapists to name problems which many people face. And these therapists and psychiatrists filled the thread with accounts of people feeling judged and out of place and worried about their family relationships. And many were sharing kind of the stigma or laying bare how the stigma surrounding mental health leads many people to bottle up their issues because they feel ashamed and abnormal. And to be honest, I feel like this makes sense. A lot of people feel very much out of place, or they don't fit in, or they feel different from their counterparts in whether it's their personal lives, their work environment, their family life. And what's so interesting is the fact that we all are feeling so alone, that that's actually what unites us. And that, you know, if people would talk about our emotional state of beings, that we would really unite and have more commonality than focusing on what makes us different from each other. But what do you think, love?
Well, so what emotion is that? Like loneliness, or what is
that?
Yeah,
like loneliness. I think fear of not fitting in. Probably anxiety, right?
Oh, anxiety is the one
of dealing. I mean, I think it's saying a couple of things. There's but either way, that people are feeling not okay, right? Like not in a happy state would be a common feeling.
Unhappy then?
I guess you could. I think that the Reddit, I mean, why don't we ask the people to go to the article and see the thread themselves?
Yeah, I guess they can see. Mm-hmm. The emotion that I think it might not be displayed, but it's definitely there all the time, and it's actually present in every living organism. It's the emotion of fear. Mm-hmm. Fear is the animal instinct that helps us survive. It prevents us from continually putting ourselves in harm's way, and also motivates us to craft things to improve our chances of survival. You know, it's a jungle out there, so without fear, I don't think we'd be alive. That helps keep us alive. It's fear.
I agree. I think fear is a really good motivator for some people. It wakes them up. In other ways, sometimes it shuts them down. But
It does, yeah.
it's an ongoing thing that we all feel.
It could be good or bad. I know people like to think of it as bad a lot of times, but it's not. It's necessary.
Definitely. So how can you tell if someone is in control of their feelings?
I think it's a mixed bag, really. I mean, some people suppress their emotions, but are they truly in control of it? Is there really any research on this, though? I mean, I don't know. How do you know if somebody really does have control?
So I thought that was an interesting question to pose because, yeah, like, what's the rubric of control? I mean, does it differ on a subjective level, or are there things that we all would be doing if we're in control of our feelings? And Alyssa Latris shared in a Huffington Post article this year, actually, stating 7 things that people with emotional control don't do. So these 7 things include: they don't ignore their feelings. They don't neglect how their feelings affect their bodies. They don't simply reject emotions without working through them. They don't disregard the activating events to their feelings. They don't disregard the thoughts they were having before the emotion. They don't ignore the consequences of acting on emotional impulse, and they don't continue repeating unhelpful emotional patterns. So do you agree or disagree with this being kind of a good test for what emotionally stable people, do and don't do?
The list seems like it wants you to be super emotional. It's this thing like get in touch with your emotions and kind of like indulge in it to figure things out. I don't know. I mean, to me, it seems like this is just saying be emotional, not really control your emotions, but
Really?
I guess bind with it. Yeah, because it's saying don't ignore the feeling. So how won't you ignore it? You're going to have to like flare that emotion up now. You can't, to say that you're in control of it and you're not going to ignore it. I don't know. That seems like, I don't know. How are you going to really control it if, like,
I think to control something, you have to acknowledge it, is right. It's kind of like an animal. If you had an animal and you're training an animal, to control the animal, you have to recognize that it's there, and then recognize what you need it to do. And I think that that's what she's speaking to, and the fact that you're going to have emotional responses whether you want to or not. And so the best way to control them would be to acknowledge them, then to acknowledge what are the events affecting these emotions, what are the consequences of you responding, right?
It's great to say all that stuff, but all it seems like it does is it's going to bring things to surface that you'll never be able to get over. I don't think, you can do this, but realistically, people try this and they don't get over their emotions. It makes them even more emotional.
That's interesting. I
don't think that works.
So you disagree with this test? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it, like, if you really go through that stuff, I think this can make you more emotional as a person, because now you're going to really think about certain things. Are you going to look too deeply into stuff and not just like brush off your shoulders? Like, you feel a little dirt, just brush your shoulders off. Like, some things are small.
Well, that's
like, don't sweat the small stuff.
That's placating. It depends. It depends on how in touch you want to be. But again, this isn't a test about whether you're emotional. This isn't a test of whether you are in control of your emotions. Thus,
I guess
you
maybe
would be emotional to be in control of them.
It just seems like this wouldn't help you with controlling it, though. I don't know.
Interesting.
It seems like it's kind of like opening Pandora's box. It's like, ooh, what's inside here? Oh, so I got this emotion because of that event. Why did that event happen to me? Why does this? It seems like this always, like, it just seems like you're opening up like a bag of whatever. It seems dangerous. It seems like a dangerous thing. I would never recommend people to follow this, but that's just me, though. People can do it how they want.
Well, Alyssa, if you're tuning in, we would love to hear your thoughts on your article, because personally, I agree with you. I think that emotions have to be tamed, and I think that you need to work through them each and every time you're feeling them. Otherwise, if you just keep burying them under the rug, your rug will not be, you won't be able to walk on it at a certain point. And I think a lot of people do the whole, oh, it's not a big deal, and then they have breakdowns 10 years later. And it's true. Like, maybe you should have just dealt with it when it was actually happening, as opposed to just like, oh, I'll deal with it later. Because guess what? Later never comes, and then you're an emotional wreck, and then you're sitting and you're asking for applesauce in a straitjacket. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. Do you believe most people are in control of their emotion?
Hell no. Based on this conversation alone.
Sorry about that, wifey.
It's clear people are not in control of their emotions. People.
I'm sorry about that, wifey.
Yeah, I bet. I think that people are completely not in control of their emotions. We wouldn't have impulse shopping. We wouldn't have passion crimes. We wouldn't have people exploding because they didn't have brown sugar for their latte. People are out of control more times than not.
Oh, I thought you were going a different way with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not going to mention.
What do you mean?
Well, it could have gone two different ways.
Okay.
The one way I'm not going to mention, but the other way is in terms of
be woke and free. Go ahead.
Well, the other way, I thought you were talking kind of about terrorists exploding, like that kind of thing.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a wonderful point. Yes, exactly. Do you think if people are in control of their emotions, we'd have terrorism? Like, obviously, people are completely out of whack when it comes to their emotional state of being. But no, don't hold a dirty secret. What was the other way?
That's not the other way. It's not a dirty secret. That's not a secret of mine. That's just if your mind's in the gutter and you're talking
about sex.
You're talking about exploding and stuff. I don't know.
No.
I thought you're talking about people being like dirty in the food industry and doing bad things to lattes.
What kind of day is this, guys? I forget.
Then you're talking about the putting stuff in it that they should.
Well, yes, exactly. Another reasons why people are not. If you're emotionally controlled, you would not put dirty things in people's food. You would not, have situations where you're, having to do things with yourself just because you can't control yourself. Like, yes, all sorts of reasons why people are not in control of themselves. And, I would personally attest to coming from a very dynamic Jamaican family that I've been a witness to many different emotions. And, I think that it's clear to me that most people definitely need to work on having control and taming their beasts inside. But what do you think?
Most people act on their emotions and they don't think logically about their actions. I think the real kicker is that they pretend that they're making calculated, rational decisions.
True.
And they use it as an excuse for their actions.
Like beating their children. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
This is not a calculated emotion. This is you being buck wild. Yes.
Yeah. They say it's for the kids, right? It's all for the good
of them. Spare the child, spare the rod, all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although many people think with their hearts, they don't actually realize they're doing it. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Don't think with your hearts. You have a brain for a reason.
True facts you speak. How do you think people's emotions affect their lives then?
It weaves itself into like every facet of people's lives. For example, if you cry at the drop of a hat, then this could be very uncomfortable for your coworkers. Learning that your insurance premiums are increasing by 3% versus the past year is not a reason to open the floodgates. Please don't do that at work.
Oh no. Oh, okay. There are definitely a lot of clear examples as to why our emotions have a great impact on our life. First, I want to point to familydoctor.org, and you can find the link on WokeNFree.com. They say your body responds to the way you think, feel, and act. This is one type of mind/body connection. When you are stressed, anxious, or upset, your body reacts in a way that might tell you that something isn't right. For example, you develop high blood pressure or a stomach ulcer after a particularly stressful event, such as the death of a loved one, right? So that is very, very true, that our bodies talk to us, and what we think and feel gets affected and kind of played out in our bodies. Also, on an interesting article on Live Science, also on WokeNFree.com, they talk about the fact that, like, for example, love, right? When we're in love, do we have an effect? Does that affect our lives? It does. In a January 2014 research, like, they found that being in love makes food and drink, even tasteless distilled water, seem sweeter, right? So that the feeling of love actually gets played out in in other things that we're doing, like eating or drinking.
That's why all my food tastes really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Good interjection there.
Every day of my life.
Yep. Everything's sweet ever
since the day I met you. I found everything to taste super sweet. I never knew.
Totally,
now you've given me the reason now.
Yep, I totally believe you.
Now remember, you need to have control of your emotions and think logically about what I just said to you.
I'll go through my steps.
Yes. Have control, as Alyssa was saying.
Yes, exactly. And then also, like, in the Live Science article, they mentioned, like, loneliness is cold. So, for instance, in a research that was published in 2008, which is a little bit dated, so I don't know if it's, if they've updated it since then, but scientists induced loneliness or feelings of acceptance in volunteers by asking them to remember the time they were excluded or included. They then asked to estimate the temperature in the room, and those induced to feel loneliness estimated the room to be 4 degrees Fahrenheit colder on average than those who were feeling accepted. So by feeling lonely, they actually feel like the room is colder, which is seems very dramatic.
Yeah, I use that trick in summer all the time. It actually cools my body down. So if it's really hot, I just think about all the lonely things I can think about.
You're a hot mess.
It helps me out. I cool off. This is how I control my body temperature.
You're a fool and a half.
So I definitely believe this study because I use this in my daily living.
Khalil, stop it. Stop telling people. Oh, so lonely.
No, but it's a good means. So if you're just really hot, just think of lonely thoughts, and now you can cool off.
In my own little corner, in my own little world.
Now people are learning how to control the temperature.
Whatever I want to be.
Look, you know what we're doing? We're actually saving them money on their air conditioning bills. Now you can shut off the AC and just feel lonely.
Please disregard that statement, guys.
It's just a thought, though. That sounds like a nice way to save some money over the summer.
That sounds like a way you're asking people to self-harm themselves.
Well, don't harm yourself. Just try to be a little bit lonelier in the summer.
Oh, Jesus, please ask a question. I can't. Move on.
How do you personally control your own emotions?
So I think that most people don't do the right thing all the time, but if you try to do something good most of the time, then that would mean trying to be emotionally stable as much as possible. And for me personally, I would say the best way that I achieve this is by thinking about my emotions and the consequences of actions. So to like kind of give an example, say somebody comes to me and says something crazy, right? They're either rude or they're just kind of out of line. The first thing I would do is if I wanted to be emotionally stable to this, then I would think about, well, why is the person saying this? Kind of what are their motivators? What is the benefit of me responding, not responding? What are the consequences of me responding equally crazy or on a more controlled level? And then deciding how to proceed. And so that's how I would kind of calculate, and similar to what I mentioned earlier by the Huffington Post article, go through a series of steps in my own head before deciding to respond, instead of just, if I wanted to be emotionally unstable, then just clap back and totally disregard, what could happen from that. But I would not do that. I would try to think about how the emotions and my emotional response would play a role in what the next steps are. So I personally think I am more emotionally in control than not, but am I perfect? Am I perfect? No, definitely not. I think that when people choose to be emotionally irrational, it's because they want to, because I think that emotions are controllable. It's not uncontrollable situations happening in our world. So if you get out of line, it's because you want to be out of line. But that's my opinion, dearest.
So I love these fairy tales that you tell. They're very endearing, and they warm my heart. I hope they warm the listener's heart as well.
Evil. You are so evil.
You're really great at telling these different stories.
Oh, yeah, I'm a wonderful storyteller, yes. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Kudos to you, babe.
Yep, excellent. Answer the question.
It's definitely hard for some people to control their emotions, as we've seen. But the main thing to remember is questioning, why did you feel the way you felt when you got that emotion? What caused this emotion? Do you enjoy this emotion? If so, then continue on with your life, because it's probably good and you want to bake in the abundance of greatness.
The abundance, I can't. Yes.
Don't fret, though, because being happy is great. I hope that's the emotion that you were feeling. I hope so. If not, realize that life will still go on and think of how you really want to feel. Then you're tasked with the journey of bringing yourself to that new emotional state. This could be certain activities such as meditating or just reading a book. The key thing to remember is, why are you feeling this emotion and is it helping you right now?
Can you answer the question that you asked? Are you emotionally in control of yourself?
I'm giving people tips on how to control their emotions and what to think about when they do get emotional. So for me, it's actually incredibly easy to control my emotions.
By not having any. Yep.
Yes, but look, remember what, as I was saying before, you showed that scientific study that said the loneliness feeling could actually make you cooler. So I definitely like to employ that now and then, cool my body temperature off. But other than that, I stay with my neutral tone, and I think that's the best bet to go. I just stay neutral and stay real.
That's why it takes a storyteller to know another storyteller. Yep.
I would like to learn of these emotions you speak of, and I'd like to input it into my brain, but that will probably take a lot of time and a lot of terabytes.
Okay, so we'll talk about robots in another episode. Yep.
Yep. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Scenario 1. As you step out of your home and walk down the cobble path, you notice a stray cat across the street and squint to look at it. Not realizing your foot is slightly in the driveway, your girlfriend backs the car up right over your foot. Ouch! You scream and make your way toward the driver's side of the window. What should be the first thing you say as you hop along to have words with her?
Are you kidding me, Khalil? You know what I would say. This is a program for children and adults.
But you're really in control of your emotions.
And
remember that fairy tale you told us?
Yeah, and I'm really in control of the fact that I like to tell people when they do wrong things. And my first words would be choice curse words. I'm sorry. Listen, I don't like pain, and that's a choice that I make. So I would cuss her out probably, and then I would ask her to please take me to the hospital and please pay for any incurred costs for damaging my foot and any type of surgery one would need for that. That's my response.
All right, my response is a lot more exciting than yours. So I'd hobble over to the window and I'd say, "You've made an awful mistake. I think you've run over my foot. Could you please not run over my foot ever again?"
Oh,
and that would be my response to her.
Okay, so you had you
Very exciting.
You live in England, and
Good day.
Properly address the situation without screaming or without crying.
I already screamed outside of the car, so when I make my way over, I'm gonna let her know what happened and how this could be prevented in the future.
By learning to never drive again, yeah.
Yeah, over someone's foot. Don't drive over someone's foot. But you just got to be very calm when you talk. Don't lose your tempo. Or your temper, probably. Your tempo's messed up because your foot just got ran over. So that'd be a problem.
I'm sticking to my guns.
So you're going to curse at this long-time girlfriend of yours.
Yep, I'm going to cuss her ass out first. And then...
Even though, I mean, it's partially your fault, too, because why'd you put your foot out in the driveway? Like, you shouldn't have done that. You made a mistake.
You see this victim shaming that's going on?
I'd be mad at myself, too. I'd be like, why did I stick my foot out there? You got to take some blame. We could say it's like a 10%, 90% blame, but either way.
This is a no-fault state, guys. She's in the wrong, and that's the end of that.
Well, some of our listeners don't have that no-fault issue, so they gotta figure out fault. So
gotcha.
That's why they gotta decide what they're gonna do. They can react in my way, which is very exciting, or they can react in your boring way.
Yeah, my boring way, which gets a nice good amount of F-word bombs and S-bombs.
Oh.
Yep. The
salty.
Whole gamut comes out. Watch where you're driving, chick.
Front door, salty.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to say some nice things there.
All sorts of wonderfulness. Yep.
Beamer, Benz, and Bentley. Lots of B words.
Yes.
Scenario 2. You waited all year to get these cool wireless earbuds from that $1 trillion company that everyone loves. Your friend, Courtney, knew how much you loved them, so would get them for you for that very special holiday. Little did Courtney know, they're sold out everywhere. On the morning of your favorite gift holiday, you go right for Courtney's gift, but notice, it's smaller than what you expected. You open it and find out it's actually a gift card from a green robot company. What do you do?
What? I can't with you, Khalil. No. You're crazy. I mean, I feel like the right emotional response is to thank her for the gift. I mean, yeah, maybe you're disappointed and you thought she was going to get you something else, but like, don't be like a shitty person, right? A gift is a gift. And like as we started the episode, if you like it, then use it. And if you don't, then figure out a way to move on with it. But I don't think being mean or mad at her is in any way appropriate. I think a gift is a gift and you should be grateful. We should be grateful for everything we have in this world.
So here's the interesting thing. If you're buying somebody a gift and you tell them that you're going to get it and then you find out you can't get it, do you let them know that do you tell them in advance, like, sorry, I really wanted to get your gift, but I couldn't? Or do you don't tell them and then you just surprise them as this person did in the scenario? They were surprised that they didn't get their gift because their friend told them, Courtney said, I'll get you the gift. So should Courtney then tell you, like, hey, I couldn't find it? Or is that right, what Courtney did? That's what I wonder.
I think that at the end of the day, you should never put yourself, like, don't commit yourself to something you can't fulfill, right? So make sure that when you tell someone, hey, I'm getting you that special gift, you already have it in your home. And that way it's like nice. Super clear. Because again, what did she do in this scenario? She set up an expectation for her friend. So why are you going to disappoint your friend unnecessarily? Like, think in advance, right? That she acted too hastily when she had done that. So had she had done the right thing in the initial case, then we wouldn't be dealing with this green robot company. But because she messed up, then you have to own your mess ups. And so when she realized it was sold out everywhere, she probably should have just sent her a text message and been like, listen, chick, I love you, couldn't get the gift, it's sold out everywhere, I got you something else, but let's go for drinks on Friday, right? And like, true, smooth it out that way.
That's a good option. So for this scenario, I'm just gonna ask listeners if they know what I'm referencing when I'm talking about the $1 trillion company that everyone loves, or the green robot company. Please share that in the comments. Let us know who you think those companies are. I'm not going to give any more hints on who that is, but you can figure that out. Green robot company.
Good luck, guys.
Scenario 3. You just lost your best friend you've ever known, your dog Max. Max was there from since you moved out of your parents' house. Max knew when you were down and would always cheer you up. When is the right time to talk to others about what happened, if ever? And when should you start working again?
You mean like at your job?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know where else you work. Hopefully it's a real place of employment.
So you took off time because Max passed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is your best friend, and so Max lived with you.
Is this vacation time or is this actual leave time that's authorized?
No, you don't actually have vacation time.
Oh, so this is unpaid time off?
Yeah, you're taking unpaid time.
Oh, this is a hot mess. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you're living on your own now. You're out of your parents' house.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Max died during the week?
Yeah, unfortunately, hump day Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So I would say then you're going to have to, if you can afford it, then take off Thursday, Friday, start back again Monday. Let's
2 days off.
Yeah.
You think that's good enough? All right.
I mean, it's not good enough. Listen, I deeply love our pets. JJ, our dog, and Toby, our cat, means everything to us. We are pet parents, first and foremost, and that's all we have right now. So, I think the loss of a pet is an unforgettable loss, and it's a grievance that will never leave you. Your pet is you've lost a pet, right? You know what that feeling is. You live with that forever. But you also have to, have light and water, and you have to live somewhere. So we have to keep that in mind for the work conversation piece of it. So I would say give yourself a couple of days and that, into the weekend and, try to get yourself together for work. But when it comes to talking to people, that's a personal decision. For me, I don't believe Facebook is mydiary.com online. So I preach that to people that know me. I think that...
You said you Snapchat.
Nope, I don't do that really that much either. I think, listen, everyone has to figure out how they want to use social media for their purposes. Personally, I don't believe in airing out all your stuff online like that. I think you should share things that are meaningful in your life, but I don't think you should share everything if it doesn't make you comfortable. For me, losing a pet, maybe I would share it, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I would call people about it, maybe I wouldn't. I'm also not a fan of having to explain my life to friends over and over again because it's going to rehash the oh, he died. How did he die? Whoa, how are you feeling? Right? There are no words for this. So it depends. I guess for me, I probably would only share it with people who were in my circle who knew about Max and knew he was sick. And then if they asked me what happened, then I would respond. But I'm not going to go around sending text messages about my dead dog. Like, to me, that I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
Or posting pictures on Facebook and writing like a long eulogy or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe if it made me feel better, then maybe I would do it. But if it's going to make me feel sadder and I'm going to indulge in this sadness, I don't see the value of that. I think everyone has to handle their emotional state of being how they want. And for me, I would probably, I mean, I know some people might think that's crazy, but I would probably, after putting Max down, I would probably go and adopt another animal, because for us, animals, adopting gives them, you're giving this pet a home, and in tribute to my love for Max, I would, take another animal and, obviously not call him Max 2, but remember, I wouldn't want to just live my sad life forever like that, right? Animals are supposed to add joy, but that was a very long response. What's your response?
If it was a Wednesday when it happened, then yeah, I'd take the 2 days off. But if it was a Monday, I'd probably just take the 1 day off. And even that day, I would start talking to people. I would never post on Facebook about it, but I would talk to others about it. I definitely, I'll talk. I'll just let them know what happened and hear their opinion on it. But that's pretty much that. I wouldn't wait around.
But would you go and text everybody who's your friend? You'd go and text everybody that Max is dead.
Yeah, I let them know.
Oh God, I don't know if I could do that, because it's like the same conversation over and over again. Like,
yeah, they gotta know. At least in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Well, we kind of ended on a sad note, but so we started off really excited, and then we ended in a very sad, kind of depressed state. But we are at that time again. It is the end of our 17th episode of Woke and Free. Beautiful.
Gets better each time.
Exactly. And this episode was emotional, to say the least. And we talked about emotions, whether we're really in control of them. I think even based on our answers, I think it's obvious that no one is.
Oh no, really?
Yes, especially because you responded that way. And now we have to decide if I'm going to leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about.
On our next episode, we will be discussing tattoos. Why do we get them? Are they harmful for our bodies? Are they a form of self-expression? If you want to find out, make sure you follow us on social media to follow along in the conversation. And make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at www.WokeNFree.com.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, and we are scheduling guests left and right, so make sure you join in on our calendar for upcoming episodes. Submit a topic for an episode at www.WokeNFree.com on the Contact Us page. And of course, we're super active on social media. Can't wait to hear your thoughts about the tattoo episode that's going to be coming up. And hit us up, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at WokeNFree.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do. Share the episode and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for Woke and Free Wednesdays. Hope you're enjoying the holidays. Till next time.